Hey everybody, today we're going to do, I'm going to call it a rainy day project or rainy day projects. I got a couple to do. This is the development that I live in. Seems like there's always someone in here that's got something small for me to do. Or what we're going to do is the job I'm supposed to be doing is up on a ledge, real ledgy bank, and it has a lot of moss on it, and they're talking rain all day today, tomorrow. So I don't want to be up there with a rubber tracked excavator slipping around. So I'm going to put that off, do some stuff around the neighborhood today and tomorrow probably. But another thing we did is we finished the summer maintenance, the last of the summer maintenance as far as tree removal. When I got that done, there's a culvert on one of the main roads coming into my house. There's been a culvert that plugs up, and the only way you could get in is walk into the wood line with a shovel, pickaxe, whatever it took to get it unplugged. Years ago, I'm going to say 25 years ago, maybe even more, someone put a culvert across and put it onto what we call a paper road, a road that was never put in, and just never been easy to maintain. So what I did is I got bored this weekend and took down some trees. I ditched the road a little bit. There was a lot of white birches here that were going to, as they grew, would probably lean over the road. So I got taking those out. Then I got up here and there was some bigger trees. But out in that wood line is the head wall to the culvert that goes across from that ditch. And we've had issues where it's not accepting enough of the water and this floods over, goes down into that guy's yard. It actually, this spring, washed out a culvert that he's got down at the bottom of his driveway because it was probably 20 feet wide going across the road. So I dug a ditch. This is accepting some of it. We had pretty good rain this morning, and even though it's rough for me digging, it still went in there, and then it absorbs in slowly instead of running down across this property. So that will take some of it. There's a crown in the road right here, plus that hot top driveway dumps a lot of water. That's probably a 200-foot driveway that goes up to that log cabin. So when we get one of those downpours that's like 2 hours, we get a lot of water that comes across. So I thought it'd be a good idea to put a little bit of a reservoir here, and I'm going to fill it with some more stone as I screen the stuff I'm digging out of the ditch. It's a freebie, so I'm trying to do it so it's inexpensive for me too. But this is a road that I have to come into to go to my house, and I also own the lots beside it. So I just figured it doesn't hurt once in a while to do it's going to make my road better, and they don't really have the money to deal with it. But the water wants to go down that hill anyway, so I figured we might as well have it go. That paper road's almost like a rocky stream now because it's been there for 20-something years with that culvert running down over it. So as this fills, the water will trickle down, and we're just trying to deal with manage the water better in this development as time goes on. From that pin over is a 25-foot road that never got put in. It will never get put in because there's no reason. So that's a 25-foot right of way that we can dump water down on, and it's going to go down the hill anyway. It's already going there. So this is one of the things we do on a rainy day. So, and like I said, we screen the material that's coming out. I got to do some other ditching in here this week before plow season comes. Some of the ditches that were we've been having downpours all since spring, so a lot of the ditches are full, and they know they're going to fail in the spring if we don't clean them out. So, but that's one of the projects we're doing today. And then we're going up the road to open up there's a lot that there's a camper on. Our town that I live in, you can have a campsite on your land now, but they're always supposed to be able to unhook your camper and haul it out. Well, they filled a lot. They had me filled a lot. I did it last year, but they kept putting the camper down over the hill. Here's the next project we're working on. This is a job I did last year. Guy bought this basically to put his camper on. It's an unbuildable site because of the water issues. He never had a place to even really get off the road with a vehicle. So we did this with a lot of the material I was digging out doing road work last year. So this year he decided he wants to try to bust a road down in. So I came here the other day and just took a little bit of this wall out. Going to try to come down in. The rule in our town is you can have a camper on a piece of land you're always supposed to be able to disconnect it and haul it out. Well, so I don't know if they got a letter from the building inspector or what the deal was, but they all of a sudden concerned about getting a roadway in that they can get that up out of here with, which even what I'm doing, you're going to want to be pulling it with something, a real short bed truck or something, because it's going to be a pretty tight turn over there. This one will be a nice sweep to come down in, but this is a project, another rainy day thing. Doesn't want to spend a lot of money, but what we're going to do is take those and do a corner retaining wall over here so that this driveway can sweep down in and then come across and then sweep again and come down here. And I don't know if they're planning, I think they might be switching that camper out, is what it could be, that simple, something that simple too, but we'll find out. But this is the project we'll be working on. So this is a camp that this guy comes up to probably 15-20 times a summer for a few days, or like a Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Doesn't want like 10 grand in this driveway. So all this is just stuff that comes off my screener when I'm ditching the roads. The last couple days I'm screening it real quick. We're just going to do the outskirts of that until we get down to this corner, and then this corner we'll have to put those boulders in, but that's what we'll be working on for a few hours. We dug some of those boulders out of that corner, dragged them up here. I didn't realize the battery was dead in the camera, so here we are. I'm going to try to place some of these in this corner. Trying to get this camera to clip somewhere where the windshield wiper and rain's not going to affect it too much. Or the dirty part of the windshield that doesn't get to the windshield wiper. I don't know if this will be good or not. We'll find out, I guess. As inexpensive as we can. So far all these boulders come right from this site, so that's good. I did dump a few of them down over the hill, I don't know, a year or two ago, but believe it or not, like that wall up top, that's all stuff when we decided to do a section of road. These roads were bulldozed in back in the 50s and they didn't get too crazy with them, so when we do work out here now, you'll think it's a football-sized piece of rock sticking out of the road you dig, and that's what you find. Works out good when you got lots in here that are looking for something to get done, so it gives you an easy place to get rid of them. Once in a while I'll end up with a real nice square piece or something I'll bring home, but most of this is pretty rough. So, but I just figured I'd show where we're at right now, and then I think it's starting to rain off and on. I mean, right now it's not, but like it's in and out, like every 5 minutes you get a pretty good downpour, so I think I might try to bring some gravel in to put up on that, work my way down in. I don't think I'm going to have to retain anymore. I think it's just going to be a matter of sweeping some good gravel in. If anything, I might have to put a little bit of erosion stone, but we'll do that when the time comes. There was a couple trees that were growing up in around this piece of ledge, and a couple small trees over there, white birch. I came this morning, I didn't get it on tape, but I got rid of those so it's a better sweep into here. This oak, he's got a tree company coming because it's leaning. You got power lines everywhere, so it's not what I'm being paid to do. I kept care of the smaller trees to save them some money. That's probably a $1,500 tree by the time they take it down and ship it. So I took the smaller stuff down, plus it's going to make it easier for me to back in here with a dump truck. So, but I just want to show we got the path busted down through. We're going to throw, I guess, some small erosion stone in the bucket. We're going to erosion stone what's in front of the camera right now. Other than that, we're going to bring some a little bit better fill in, and once we get down here, I got to do something about retaining that to the neighbor's property. I don't like, we're going to do this road, so I think I'm going to put some more boulders in there and then just erosion stone that. But all those boulders that were over there ended up here, so I ended up getting it's good enough for what it's doing. It's going to hold that, retain that in, so they can get down here to get this camper out, basically. But I got to continue making the road. I just figured I'd take a shot where we're at this point. Now I've got to get a bunch of material here, which I've got a couple other jobs I got to do before this. This is kind of a fill-in, like rainy day thing. A lot of fill. I'm trying to save him the money. He doesn't want this to cost me. Like I said, this is just a campsite, but that's all stuff that comes off my screener. That will let the water filter through, not get all muck. Same with here. I use stuff that comes off the screener as erosion stone, basically. We screened all the stuff we dug out of the ditches over a course of a couple days. Ended up with all the rock I needed to do that rough driveway with, but we also ended up with a bunch of pretty nice 3/4 base gravel. So that's the advantage of having one of these around. It's not going to show once that green's up again, but I just figured I'd take a shot. Like I said, where we're at this point, this is kind of mucky from all the rain we got. I'm going to put some 1.5 on it, use some small erosion stone, and try to get it so I can back in there without making a mess every time. We got this so I can back down in there, I think, better. I hate throwing 1.5 stone on the ground just to make things solid, you know, but wasn't bad gravel, it was just mucky from all the rain. That will retain that back good enough for what we're doing. Like I said, this is just a pathway. They're gonna park up there. This is just so they can get that camper out of there. It would be nice to have to get the other one in, and if we got to bring wood, firewood or something in. But again, that's where we're at now, and now I can back down in here, start bringing in a little bit better gravel. I didn't dare leave those other trees neither because they were real close backing in with a truck with even a 1-ton with mirrors on it. They're gonna hit them. So I'll bring in 4 or 5 loads of fill and just keep working my way in. Gotta come in with the 2501 with the grader box on it and just knock this around. Bring in a few more buckets off the screener just to have a little bit of an erosion stone thing here. Overall, I think this will stay here pretty good though. But I just figured I'd take a shot where we're at now. I'm gonna neaten it up a little bit. I got rid of all the crap like right through here. there were some pretty good stumps and whatnot. I figured I'd dig them out. Whether this will ever be a real driveway or not, I don't know, but I chased the roots up into that bank and didn't dare leave it that way, so it gave me a good place to get rid of the crap I dug out here, and then just threw some manure over the top of it, which right now that manure is kind of hot, but by springtime it will burn itself out and that will probably turn green. Just weed up, which is going to be good. That will bind it up. But other than that, I just figured to show where we're at. Like I said, I'm just using the stuff off the screener as like an erosion stone, and we're about to the max of what he wanted to spend, so I gotta call it quits today. We're gonna try to smooth this out a little bit. I might sprinkle a little 1.5-inch stone over the top of it with the loader after, but he's the homeowner gave me, or I should say the guy that owns this campsite lot, gave me an idea of what he wanted to spend, and I'm kind of at the max of it right now, so we're gonna call it quits today regardless, but I want to make it look a little bit nicer. I might actually I'm gonna bring a bucket with me since I'm heading that way anyways, because this isn't that far from my house. But I'm gonna take some of this processed gravel with me. Picking, and then we'll get back to it. All right, I'm going to back drag down at the foot of this wall beside, on the right side of the camera. Like I said, originally in the video, we were paid to do a rough road down to this camper so they can drag this and switch it out or whatever they're going to do. I think when the time comes, I'm going to suggest I'll pull that up out of here with a small tractor, not a truck, but that's part of the rules too. When you put a camper on the site in this town, you're supposed to be able to unhook it and move it if the town chooses to have you do that. You can't leave them, like they don't like skirt and they don't like big decks on them. I know people that have actually had to pull the decks away in the fall and then skirt which I don't agree with. I think if the better it looks to me, but they don't want people making them a home, year-round home. So basically, so I understand where the town's coming from, but I came in early this morning, dropped some gravel off the screener. Like I said, we're trying to keep this as affordable as we can for the guy. He gave me a price point that he wanted to go to as a max, and we're going to be there at the end of probably another 2 hours. I'll have this all cleaned up. I believe I'm going to bring a little bit of loom to put on that in front of this retaining wall just to bind it up. It's actually pretty loomy there already, right up near the rock. But I'll dress that real quick, throw some straw on it. I also want to make sure this stays here come spring, because we get a heavy winter. But the edges are all just rock off the erosions. I used as erosion stone, but it's all rock off the screener. Out through there, same thing. That's all rock, so it won't wash out. And the lot next to this is probably a good 8, 10, 12 feet different, probably 14 in some areas, but kind of one of those deals. They filled in first, so they win. But we'll get to it. This is, I call it a land plane. It's got a double cutting edge, just set at, I believe, 33-degree angle, and the two cutting edges basically. This really works good. I finish up even road grading with it. Puts the fines back up to the top. I just find this works better than a York rake. I do use everything. I have a tractor. I do a lot of grading, so we leave that set right up almost year round with a grader, but I touch it up with this. I very seldom use a York rake anymore. I normally use this, but we'll put that through and get it done. walk up through. I got a gravel rake with me and knock that around the edges a little bit, just so it's based with all the same material right to the edge. Even though this is off my screener, I pretty much have screened enough gravel. This is gonna pack real nice. They may want to put like a gray or blue stone over it later on. He said next year they'll probably revisit this and doll it up a little bit more and do some plantings. Make it look a little bit nicer, even though it's just a campsite. Got this driveway about where I want it. I'm gonna go home, grab a little bit of loom, dress that one hill, throw some straw on it. I'm gonna do one last walk through. I'm done here as far as what I decided to do there is just do bark mulch. I remembered after I was thinking about putting grass seed there and loom straw, seeding straw. They talked about doing some plantings there, so I don't want them to have to deal with that in the spring. So that way there they can just plug plant that, put a little mulch on it, and they'll be in good shape. But other than that, I got a good coat of gravel on the road, on the driveway. I believe they're going to be blown away because the price point they gave me and what I did, I think they're going to be pretty happy. They used the term rough road to get in. This is actually going to be a pretty good driveway for them, I think, in the long run. So, but I just wanted to do a final walkthrough. Going up through, like I said, it's pretty solid too. Saved them the money where I could, like using the stuff off my screener as erosion stone. I think it's going to make a big difference. We're going to call it on this one, and like I said, it comes right up to the main road. I'm going to end this video here, and if you like my content, please like and subscribe. That's how we're going to grow this channel. Thanks for watching.